Yeah, I think this book is gonna break me. I'm sorry, we have given up on Red Queen. I'm so stressed. Hi everyone, it's me. So a couple weeks ago, I made a video where I read a bunch of sequels from 4 different fantasy trilogies. And so in today's video, we are going to wrap it all up and finish those series. And we are going to determine if those series are really worth reading. So I'm not gonna give like a very long description of everything we're reading in this video because I did talk more about the series as a whole in my sequels video, so go watch that if you haven't yet. But the books that I will be finishing up in this video are right here, in no particular order. I haven't decided what order I want to read these yet. One of the books I am going to be reading is The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. This is the finale to the Poppy War trilogy. I just think this book is going to break me. I think it's gonna wreck me, and I'm scared, but I'm really excited to finish the series and see where everything goes. The Poppy War I rated 5 stars, and the Dragon Republic I rated 4.5 stars. So overall, such a dang good series so far, and I'm really excited to finish this one. Also in this video, I will be reading A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is the finale in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. Also really loving this series. I really like the whole like mood and the vibe of it. So I gave A Darker Shade of Magic also 5 stars. A Gathering of Shadows, which is the second book, I gave, what did I give A Gathering of Shadows? I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't as good as the first book, but I have high hopes for how this series concludes. And then finally, we are going to read The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, the 3rd book in the Cruel Prince trilogy. The Cruel Prince I really enjoyed. I gave that a 4.5 star. The sequel though, called The Wicked King, I didn't really like so much. I only gave that one a 3.75, but I have heard from a lot of you guys saying that The Wicked King really wasn't that great, but The Queen of Nothing is like the best book in the series. So I'm putting my trust in you, and I hope this book lives up. And so yeah, those are the 3 books I'm going to be reading. Those are the 3 trilogies that I'm going to be wrapping up in this video. I did read one more series in my sequels video, and that was The Red Queen. Hold on, let me just grab them. So I did read Glass Sword, which is the 2nd installment in the Red Queen series, in my sequels video, and I will just say Red Queen was fun. It wasn't anything too special, but it was a really fun read. I really liked the world that we build. I liked the characters. I thought the plot was fun, but Glass Sword just, it didn't do it for me. It was very boring, to be honest, and I have heard from a lot of you guys that this series just isn't worth continuing on. And I have heard that the rest of the books are just kind of boring like Glass Sword is. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna finish this series. I have officially decided, and I think I'm probably just gonna look up the ending online and see what happens, read some summaries, because I kind of do still want to know what happens in the end. Like, I'm just curious, but I don't want to sit through, I think it would be 2 more books in this series, because this is a 4-book series, I think. I'm sorry, we have given up on Red Queen. We'll just put her back on there. But yeah, those are the 3 books. Okay, so because in the sequels video, Huffy helped us choose the order of books to read, we are gonna have Huffy help us again. And so we have our books here. Do you want a description? Do you want a blind pick, or do you want to like...
No, I'm gonna blind pick.
Okay. We have like a purple theme, look. All the finales are purple. That's funny. Okay, Huffy Cam. We have some sleepy cats. They were so not helpful when we tried getting them to pick last time.
I'm gonna do this.
Okay. Huffy's closing his eyes, by the way.
Try not to touch the cat.
Oh!
I touched 2, but...
It's mostly Burning God.
Mostly Burning God.
You keep picking the like more intense ones to start with. I would have wanted to end with this one because I think this book is gonna break me. And I feel like this is a good last book to read, but...
Should we do the transition?
Okay.
No, hold on, I have an idea.
Oh.
How do we do this? How does the cat transition work?
You went into one cat and went out the other. How did it feel? Yeah, I think this book is gonna break me. I'm not even gonna read the plot summary on the back. I honestly I don't read plot summaries on the backs of sequels. Do you? Like, I'll read them when I like get into a series, but once I'm into it, I feel like I don't need this because it'll give me spoilers that I don't need. I already know what the book's gonna be about. You know? I'm ready for my heart to be broken. This book is very pretty though. I like the purple color.
Brand new street and brand new me.
Oh no. R.F. Kuang has just literally confirmed that we will be crying. Okay.
Already know. Couple days ago. Hey, now that our names are written in stone, let's be honest, sounds like home.
Guys, I'm just past the like 150 page mark, so we're making our way through, and this book is so good so far. Nothing like too crazy has happened, although I feel like everything that happens in this trilogy is just really intense. But I'm finding this to be an interesting finale of a trilogy so far because we have met quite a few new characters, and I wasn't really expecting to, seeing that this is the final book in a 3-book series. I just expected to like wrap things up in this book versus like start off this book on a whole new journey, essentially meeting new characters and like setting up a whole new scene. But I actually am really enjoying reading about the new characters that we've met. I think they're really funny and interesting. There is one character that I am missing a little bit so far, and if you've read this trilogy, you probably know who I'm talking about, and if you haven't, that will mean nothing to you. But yeah, I hope we do see this character soon. I know we definitely will at some point in this book because I think it would be impossible to wrap up the story without seeing that character, but yeah. It's one of my favorite characters in the trilogy, and that person is not around because of certain things that character did in the second book to just mess everything up. I'm just really enjoying being back in this world again. It's been like 2 weeks maybe since I've read Dragon Republic, and so yeah, everything is just coming back to me. My mind is just like blown every time I think about the series. I'm not even done the series yet. My mind is already blown at like what R.F. Kuang has done, and this is the first series, the first books that she's ever written. The Poppy War was R.F. Kuang's first book. How? I'm gonna keep reading. So I haven't cried yet. I'm 442 pages in. We're getting to the climax. We're getting close. I can feel it. We are getting to like the crazy point in the story. I haven't cried yet. It's been more like horrified gasps. There's a lot of like dark material in this book. Yeah, I've just been more like, grossed out at some points as well, but this book is definitely taking me on a journey. We are going to places that I did not think we would go to in this book. I feel like so much has happened. We're just only getting to our final battle and our final moments here, and I honestly have no idea how things are going to turn out. I don't know who's going to come out on top. I don't know who is going to survive. I don't know who is going to like be friends with who in the end. It's a time. I'm scared for it to end, but it has to end someday, so the burning god, everyone.
Alright guys, I don't know, Jamie just told me to get the camera. She's crying about something. I don't really know what's going on, but there she is.
I'm so stressed.
She's so stressed because Alteza's, I don't know, something about Alteza and dragons. I'm not really sure. That's actually a type of Toyota. Here you go. She's a little shy.
Why is it so close?
That's the style of today. You have to hold it now. I have to go upstairs.
I look so distraught. We have this much of the book left to go, and I'm so stressed out right now. I can't even like tell you guys what's going on because I like to make my reading vlogs spoiler free for the most part, and I feel like something's about to happen. And if it happens, I don't think I'm going to be well. I feel like I was like holding myself together quite well for like the majority of this reading experience, but you know, we're getting to the end and things are getting scary. Ah, okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Bye. Okay, I'll let you know what happens to Alteza. Oh. I feel like so broken. Like I feel like I'm literally in mourning right now. I feel like I'm grieving. But we have to pick my next read. Will you help?
Yeah. They look kind of cool. This one?
This one will probably be friendlier. This one's gonna be interesting for me because I really enjoyed... Hello? Cats? I really enjoyed The Cruel Prince. I gave it a, I think I gave it a 4.5. I then read The Wicked King and I gave that a like 3.75 or 3.5 or something like that. I didn't really enjoy it, but people are saying this book is really good. It seems to be actually shorter than the first two books, which is interesting. I feel like most series get longer as they go on, but the Folk of the Air trilogy seems to get shorter as it goes on, which is very interesting. I'm hoping this is gonna be a fun, lighter read because holy heck, The Burning God and like the entire Poppy War trilogy is heavy, and it's great. It's an absolute masterpiece, but there's definitely some heavy content and material in there. So I feel like I need to read something more like light, fun, whimsical. This might be exactly what I need. So, The Queen of Nothing. Does anyone else get extreme joy when they see that like the dedication in a book references another author? It feels like universes come together. I don't know, it just gives me so much joy. I think I've recovered a little more from yesterday. It's the next day now, it's 1:10 p.m. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about The Burning God. It was just so good. Obviously, I gave it 5 stars. I feel like it's gonna be one of those books that sticks with me forever, or at least for a very long time. It's always a good sign. You know, like the feeling when the characters start feeling more real than fiction. The entire Poppy War trilogy did that for me. So yeah, that's gonna stick with me for a very long time. I don't think I'm gonna stop thinking about it ever. Highly recommend. Word of a warning though, it is heavy. Check for like trigger warnings. I don't know where you check for trigger warnings, but I'm sure there's somewhere online where you can check. I managed to read 30 pages of The Queen of Nothing yesterday, which I think is pretty impressive considering like the state my mind was in last night. Nothing too much to say about The Queen of Nothing yet. I think it is good so far. Like I don't have any complaints. We are starting this book in kind of a different location than we normally do for this trilogy, so that's been kind of fun. And yeah, I've only read 30 pages. Oh, actually, I did get a page count of all 3 books in this trilogy because, as I was mentioning, I just thought it was really interesting that in this Folk of the Air trilogy, the books keep getting shorter as they go on, which is so unlike every other series I've read. But I looked at all the page counts, and The Cruel Prince was 370 pages, Wicked King was 322 pages, and then Queen of Nothing is only 308 pages, so it literally just keeps getting shorter and shorter, and this is the thinnest book that I have read in a very long time. That is all I needed to say today, or right now.
Open air, side by side we sway there and all.
Guys, I finished this book. I was gonna vlog more and give you another update while I was reading this book, but I feel like because it's only 300 pages, it was so short, it flew by. I just read it and finished it. But for my thoughts, I thought this was a really good conclusion to the trilogy. I'm actually really happy with it, which is good because, as I said, I didn't really love the second book. Basically, everything that I loved about The Cruel Prince, the first book, and that I was missing in the second book, we got that back in this finale. So I'm just really happy about that. I remember mentioning when I was reading the second book that a lot of the dialogue and just like the sentence structure wasn't making sense to me. I don't know why. It was the weirdest thing. I would have to reread sentences like over and over and over again several times to understand them, and I've never really experienced that reading a book before, but I didn't have to do that while reading this, so I don't know what happened there. There were just some weird sentences in, what was it called, The Wicked King, that just like they didn't work in my mind, but every sentence made sense in this book. We also got more of like the whimsy, fun, silly vibes back in this book while also dealing with the very high stakes, serious plot going on, so I really enjoyed that. Some parts of this book just made me truly giggle. And I finally got that like tension, that good connection between our two main characters again. I understood it, like their emotions, their feelings felt more genuine and real in this book, where I didn't really understand it at all in the second book. Something else I also really loved is the arcs of the like secondary characters, the side characters. We got some really good redemptions. We got some really good villain arcs. Everyone went, I feel like, on a great arc. I feel like most characters, like from The Cruel Prince to The Queen of Nothing, had at least like a little bit, like some sort of development, and I think that was just really done well. Overall, I really like how everything concluded. I think everything wrapped up very nicely, and it felt like truly just like a fairy tale. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually have anything bad to say about this book. It also passed by so quick. Also, I love that it was only 300 pages long. Pretty much made it impossible for things to drag on because everything was just like moving. And I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. As I said, literally no criticisms on this book. I loved every aspect of it, but I have decided this year I'm going to be a little bit more like picky with my 5-star books, and if a book doesn't give me that like 5-star feeling, you know what I mean, I'm not gonna give it 5 stars. So this was a great conclusion to the series, nothing to complain about. So that is The Queen of Nothing. That is the end of this trilogy, but I know that's not the end of this world, because next up we do have the Stolen Heir duology that continues in this world of Elfheim, and I believe follows Oak, which is our main character's brother. But yeah, I thought this was a great conclusion to just this little part of this world. I did actually start reading A Conjuring of Light, which is the last book I'm going to be reading in this video, by V.E. Schwab, third book in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. And this book, unlike The Queen of Nothing, is thick. Just look at the difference between those books. This book is like 640 pages, so it's more than double the length of The Queen of Nothing. So we have a lot of reading left to do. I got up to page 60 yesterday, so I kind of just started back into it. It definitely has like darker vibes than the Cruel Prince trilogy, where the Cruel Prince trilogy is very much like oaky, viney, woodsy, fairy-ish. The Darker Shade of Magic world is darker, grungier, more urban, and definitely has a more complex magic system. I'm just kind of getting started back into this world, definitely a very different mood. Interestingly enough, between the first and the second book in this trilogy, we had like a time gap. I think there was like 4 months between where the first book ended and where the second book started, but this one literally like jumps off from the second book ends. So we're kind of just thrown back into the middle of the action. So I'm kind of just reorienting myself back into this world, back into the story, because it has been probably almost a month since I read the second book in this trilogy. So I'm just like catching up, like reminding myself where all of our characters are, who is who, getting myself back like reacquainted with this world and this magic system. So that's kind of the state I'm in with this book, but so far it's really good. There's a lot of stuff happening. We kind of start, there's a very significant event that happens pretty much right where this book starts. So kind of crashed back into it. I'm gonna keep reading it today, and yeah, that's where we're at.
That's just the weight of the world. It's not personal, it's just how it works. Don't be angry for too long, we'll get burned.
We have a new character, I think, unless I'm just forgetting the name of this person. I think we have a new character. And by new character, I mean like new character POV. so significant.
There's no better way to go. Oh, like a romance without a goal. That goes to let's make baby.
Time for a reading update. I was gonna sing that, but then I realized my voice isn't very good, so I don't think you want to hear me sing that. A Conjuring of Light. It's good. I am on page 268, almost halfway into it at this point. It's good so far. I like the story. I like where things are going. This entire series has been set in like a very dark, vibey, moody atmosphere, and it's just become even more dark. I think that is what V.E. Schwab does best. This will be the 4th book I've read by V.E. Schwab, and yeah, I think all her books just have that like dark essence, like kind of scary. And I mentioned when I was reading Darker Shade of Magic that I love the way that she writes her villain characters, and I think that still stands. I just love reading about her villains. They're so interesting. They're so in-depth. They're not like the stereotypical two-dimensional villains. They're very much like deep characters, and I love them. So yeah, I'm enjoying this book so far. I will say one thing though. This book is very long, as I mentioned. I think it could be condensed quite a bit. There are a lot of unnecessary words and phrases that are repeated over and over and over again. V.E. Schwab is very descriptive with her writing, and I really like that about her writing, like the way I can visualize everything that she is trying to portray through her words. But certain phrases and descriptions she just repeats over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where I'm like, yes, I know that's what that looks like. There's a character who has like a shattered eye, which I think is something of significance, but I feel like every time someone looks at her, her eye is described again in the same way, and it's like, yes, I know she has a shattered eye, and it's very disturbing. As of right now, that's my only criticism really on this book. Still love this book, still loving the story, still loving the characters. I'm just like pumped to keep reading and to see what happens, because I don't know how things are gonna turn out at the moment. Like, everything's a mess, okay? Everything's a mess. Good morning, you guys. I did finish A Conjuring of Light. I put it back. Where is it? It's right here. I put it back in its little box set where it belongs. And I'm not gonna take it out again, because when you take books out of box sets, I feel like it's so hard to get them back in there. Anyways, really enjoyed the book. I got really into it in the second half. Like, there were just things that were happening that I was like, and I feel like the whole Shades of Magic trilogy, it's one of those trilogies where you really like care about all the characters, pretty much. Like, almost all the characters I had an emotional attachment with, and I was just like worried for their well-being. Really great journey. I really liked it. I'm gonna rate the book a 4.5, rounding up to a 5, like closer to the 5-star side, but I just think if it was condensed a little bit, it would have been like a perfect 5-star. I am excited though, because from the way that this book ended, I could definitely see where there's room to expand on the world, and I can see where the next series set in this world is going, because if you didn't know, I actually have it right here. V.E. Schwab did start a new series. I don't know what the series is called actually, but this book is called The Fragile Threads of Power, and this is the first book in maybe a trilogy, a duology. I don't know how long the series is going to be, but this is basically the continuation of the Shades of Magic trilogy, where we're set in the same world and we follow one of the characters in that book, or maybe a couple of them. I don't know. I didn't actually look it up, but this continues on that world. So that is just really exciting, and it's really funny that I finished 2 trilogies, but now I'm on to start like 2 more series because of it. The Poppy War trilogy, as we know, just ended. Like, that's that. R.F. Kuang has moved on to other worlds, but the Folk of the Air trilogy continues on to The Stolen Heir, which I have up there. I don't think it's in the frame. Here, I'll show you. See the little white book beside my Akatar set? That's Stolen Heir, so that's a duology. That's a continuation in the world of Elfheim. And then, yeah, we have Fragile Threads of Power, which is the continuation from the Shades of Magic world. So we finished 3 trilogies, but we have 2 more spin-offs to start going off of there. And that's why reading is just a never-ending journey, because there's always so many books to read. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you here because I did finish those trilogies. Honestly, all of them were great. I would recommend all 3 of the trilogies that I finished this week. If you did like this video, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know out of the trilogies I read in this video what you would be interested in reading or what your favorite is if you have read them. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!